Dr. Subra Suresh, Director of the National Science Foundation, and as such, really the patron of this newly funded NSF center that was funded by the Biological Directorate. Dr. Suresh came to NSF with a long and, I must say, stunning list of prior accomplishments. He was Dean of the Engineering School at MIT. He's authored more than 230 research articles in international journals, and he is a co-inventor of more than 18 U.S. and international patent applications. He's author or co-author of several books that are widely used in materials science and engineering. He's an elected member of the National Academy of Sciences, National Academy of Engineering, and American Academy of Arts and Sciences. He is a man of big ideas and the determination to see them realized. Please welcome Dr. Subra Suresh.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here at this very important occasion for the University of Maryland, for this center, and for the National Science Foundation, and for the country. The inauguration of the center also brings good news for science more broadly around the country and around the world. The reason is that we are focusing on a very important issue. It's a grand challenge of our time. And that's one of the topical areas in which the National Science Foundation, during at least for the last few years, but much longer than that, has put an emphasis on. I especially appreciate this opportunity to publicly recognize and thank Senator Barbara Mikulski, who at least for the last 20 years has been a champion of support for the National Science Foundation and for science. She's been a guiding light for our mission and for much of our success over the last 2 decades. I also want to acknowledge Governor O'Malley for his continuing aspirations and vision for the state of Maryland relative to science and technology. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate President Lowe for receiving the largest support ever from the National Science Foundation to this university. So congratulations. I just want to mention 3 things. First is, this is a point in time where our country has never faced so much challenge or competition from countries large and small around the world. Countries large and small around the world are increasingly investing in science and engineering as a ticket to innovation to lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. This competition has never existed, and it's especially the time that we focus on ensuring that long-term fundamental research that completely changes the landscape for humanity and keeps the U.S. at the forefront in terms of economic prosperity and national security exists. And in that respect also, I want to thank Senator Mikulski for her support. The second point I want to make is that the United States, with all this mounting competition, global competition in STEM education, especially at the post-secondary level, still remains at the top with respect to this ecosystem of higher education. By that I mean the public universities, land-grant universities, private universities, and community colleges, giving an opportunity for the best talent from anywhere in the world to come here, and a person from any background in the U.S. to move up the ranks from one system to another system so that they can reach their ultimate goal. This is still the envy of the world. And it's not just the money that you put into science and engineering, it's the institutions that exist that ensure that you have a transparent, rigorous, open peer review system, merit review system. This center is a very good example of this. The funding was not given because it happens to be in Maryland. The funding was given because through a rigorous process, our peers who are experts in the field felt that this was the best proposal that was submitted. And this is one of the hallmarks of what the National Science Foundation does. And it's very important that we keep this. So it's not the money we put into research, it's all the other factors, the soft factors, the important ethics we hold, the scientific ethics, the respect for merit, the respect for scientific integrity. And that's another reason why this country has been at the forefront of science and engineering for the last 50 years. And as long as that kind of a system flourishes everywhere, we will continue to remain leaders, and it's very important that we take the long-term view with respect to this. The third point that I want to make is the focus of this particular center, bringing a major issue of our time related to the sustainability of the environment and the sustainability of human existence, comfortable existence, with natural sciences, physical sciences, life sciences, and social sciences. And bringing different fields from very different perspectives, fields that hitherto have not connected as well as they should have, bringing them together and putting them together in new and unique ways so that we can take knowledge from disparate fields and create new knowledge out of it is a very significant factor of this. This is our own vision within NSF of what I call one NSF, to take different parts of NSF, put them together so that the total output is much greater than the sum of the parts. And I very much wish the center all the success in its vision so that we can prosper. Let me just end this word because it's a time of great fiscal constraint, budget constraint, and we have major national challenge with respect to funding all kinds of things, including science and engineering. I want to leave you with this thought, which is more than 100 years old, and it comes from a real story that's narrated by former British Prime Minister Maggie Thatcher in her recent autobiography. She narrates an encounter between the famous British scientist Michael Faraday, who produced electricity in his lab for the first time, and the then Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Treasury Secretary, William Gladstone. When the scientist Faraday was introduced to the politician Gladstone asked him, "What is the value of your research? Why should the British taxpayer pay for your research?" To which Mr. Faraday responded, "Sir, one day you will tax it." And tax they did. And they continue to tax electricity. My point is the National Science Foundation receives $7 billion a year from American taxpayer money. But if you calculate the revenue to the U.S. Treasury from the discoveries fostered by the National Science Foundation, it's many, many, many times $7 billion. That's why we need the National Science Foundation. That's why we need science. Thank you very much.